After analyzing over 100 CPG brands on Amazon, I found something that most teams don't want to hear. The brands struggling on Amazon usually don't have a product problem. They don't have a branding problem. They don't even have a traffic problem. They have a systems problem. And the worst part, a lot of very successful brands can't even see it. Because off Amazon, everything looks like it's working. Sales are coming in, the brand looks strong, the product is validated. But on Amazon, growth stalls, margins shrink, and nothing seems to scale. I'm Sean, and I help brands fix this every day. And after auditing all those accounts, I realized that the brands that win on Amazon are not better at PPC. They don't have better product pages. They simply build better systems. 3 of them to be exact, but miss one and the whole thing collapses. So let me show you how this actually shows up, because this is where it gets interesting. Because bad Amazon systems don't look obvious at first. They kind of show up in weird ways. We audited one brand, great product, strong retail presence, but they were using retail shelf language on Amazon. Beautiful branding, clean messaging, completely the wrong environment. And their conversions were non-existent. Another brand, on paper, they did everything right. Strong features, clear specs, but they were signaling what the product does instead of the embarrassment their customers were trying to avoid. And costs were atrocious. And then another one. They were actually driving traffic, but their SEO was completely choked out. Duplicate keywords, repetitive structure. They were actually competing against themselves inside the algorithm. Now, just to be clear, these aren't bad brands. Most of them are very smart operators. We've had versions of this conversation with a lot of them. This is just what happens when a system isn't built for how Amazon actually works. So let's start with the first system, because this is where most brands quietly lose, often before anything even begins. And it's also where team meetings start sounding cliche. We need better ads. Maybe it's the targeting. Maybe it's the keywords. But most brands don't have a traffic problem on Amazon. They have an attention problem. Because on Amazon, you're not competing against quality first. You're competing on the speed of attention. We saw this with a brand in the brutally competitive fitness category. And here's what's wild. We didn't change the product. We didn't change the targeting. We didn't increase the budget. We only changed one thing. Specifically, the first few seconds of what the shoppers saw on the video ad. That's it. ROAS went from 1.2x to over 23x. Sales jumped over 470%. Same product, same audience, different attention. That's the game. Visibility doesn't go to the best brand. It goes to the brand that attracts the most attention quickly. So that's system number 1, attraction. Now, if you're running a real brand doing 7, 8, 9 figures off of Amazon, and any of this is felt familiar, there's a very good chance your system is already breaking. Especially if you're quietly falling behind competitors you know you're better than. If that's the case, apply for an audit below. We'll show you exactly what's happening inside your Amazon systems, what to fix, and how to move forward. Because let's say you do get the click. Right here is where most brands lose the sale. Because most listings on Amazon don't actually sell. They explain with bullets full of features, generic claims, images that explain but don't persuade. Why should I choose this over everything else I'm seeing? Look, Amazon isn't a browsing platform. It's a decision engine. Customers aren't studying your listing. They're scanning it. And by the time your listing explains itself, the customer's already gone, like in the first 5 seconds. We worked with an outdoor furniture brand already doing multiple 7 figures in retail, like Costco and Target, but struggling to get traction on Amazon. Not because the product wasn't good, but because the product page wasn't doing its job. So instead of adding more advertising, we rebuilt the product page around one thing: belief. Clear outcome, clear differentiation, clear reason to trust. Conversion rate more than doubled. And this brand added a fresh $1.4 million in new sales in under 6 months. But the best part, revenue scaled without paying for unwanted traffic. Because traffic isn't what makes you money. Conversions are what make you money. So if your listing doesn't capture and convert, every click is just a missed opportunity. So that's system number 2, conversions. But then there's one system where most brands burn money. And this is the trap. Teams get together and say, let's increase ad spend. Let's unleash those auto campaigns. Let's go for more keywords. But ads don't fix problems. They expose them. If your attraction is weak, ads amplify bad traffic. If your conversion is weak, ads amplify wasted clicks. Then you're not scaling growth, you're scaling inefficiency. We worked with a premium automotive brand, already investing in ads, already generating sales, but everything felt fragile. Some days worked, some days didn't. Scaling felt risky and not predictable. So instead of pushing more ad spend, we rebuilt the foundation, fixing the product page, clarifying the offer. Then we restructured the campaigns around what was actually converting. And that's when everything changed. Revenue scaled past $90,000 a month while maintaining over a 5x ROAS. Total Amazon revenue grew nearly $1.5 million in a few months. Not because we spent more, but because the system could finally support it. Because scaling isn't about spend. It's about multiplying what already works. But after sitting down with over 100 brands, it always came back to the same thing. Brands lose on Amazon in only 3 ways. They don't get seen, they don't get chosen, or they pour fuel on a system that doesn't work. Listen, you shouldn't be guessing your way through this. So if you want to see exactly how this works with real brands, watch this next video. I'll break down the full process step by step just for you.